I just love you guys, and I appreciate you being here for us, and I appreciate you doing the things that you're doing, and I appreciate you building this. Please like this episode as well as every other episode you do enjoy going on right now that I'm very excited about. And I see Doge, and I see the realignment of the educational system coming together for a real unique opportunity that we haven't had in a long time. And that's exciting more and more each day. It all comes back to coming back to yourself, taking your, you have three brains, right? You have the brain of the head, you have the brain of the heart, and you have the brain of the gut, gut instinct, right? I would love to really be able to get into some comfortable situations where we can start feeding back into the community that we haven't had in a long time. If we take the right approach, we have the ability to really dramatically affect not only the children growth, we could start turning revenues and rolling them into, for instance, here in this small town, seeing what kind of effects we have. We have coming up very shortly, as much as we should. And I think this is probably the strongest because it has emotion as well. And then those two signal to the brain to send out the chemicals that do the work that needs to be done according to whatever I have already talked a little bit about it with Emma on Emma Lynn and Grandpa Rod. Hey, how you doing, everybody? This is Rod Duff, the co-host of Rod Duff, or I should say Emma Lynn and Grandpa Rod. I'll get in while I'll tell you in a second while I'm chuckling at that. I do want to before I bring Simon on here, he's actually hosting. So this is becoming more of a panel. But I did, before I brought him on, I wanted to give a shout out to Joe and to Melissa here at the Mangum Library, because this is, as we know, Columbus Day holiday weekend, and they're shut down today and they're shut down Monday, as most federal or community or city government buildings are. They opened this up for me on their own time, and just another example of going above and beyond. Simon, how you doing, brother?
Doing good. I'm glad to be at another weekend. I'm glad to have some time with my daughter and my dog. How are you?
Those are awesome. Yeah, and your daughter's awesome. I look forward to the two young ladies meeting someday and interacting.
Sparks will fly. Sparks will fly. Heat will be generated.
They seem to have some equal and beautiful energy.
Yes.
As we just found out a little bit ago, Simon, Emma is being a teenager, and excuse me, had a little. Hold on. Wow, that was crazy. Had a little miscommunication, I believe, and she will be probably watching the show sometime later in the day or tomorrow or something. But won't be joining us. She is at a friend's house, and knowing kids when they're hanging out with their buddies, they usually up pretty darn late. Yes. And I'm guessing she's not gonna see the light of day for quite a few hours, and they're 2 hours behind us. So crazy time. So what we're going to talk about is what Emma and you and I would have talked about together. We're going to kind of go back and forth. I want to learn more about this certificate program. Folks, as you're coming in, a couple of people have joined us already. I appreciate you coming in. I was just telling Simon, we've got over 110, I think, new subscribers over the last 2 days on this mission of ours to get to 10,000 subscribers by next month. And so please, as you're coming in, subscribe. I guess you can't double subscribe, but those who are not already, tell your friends and support the program. We've got a lot to do. We've got a long way to go. I used to say we've taken our first step on a 10,000 mile journey. I think more like around 25 or 30 steps, Simon, at this point, with a great help from you, and your teams and our ability to mesh and come together and kind of almost baton pass
Right.
the activities as somebody's going through life. Now we only have a little bit of time with you. You're taking your daughter to a place here in a minute.
About 20 minutes.
Got about 20 minutes. Okay, I was going to say half hour, so we got about 20 minutes with you.
Yeah.
I'll wind up the show, but why
Sure.
don't we start off? One thing I really wanted to learn a little bit more about is the L-EAF Lab program. There's
Sure.
a lot to talk about, so redirect me where you think it needs to go. But
Sure.
the L-EAF Lab, that we talked about the certificate programs.
Sure.
Teachers teaching teachers kind of thing.
Yep.
Can you expand on that a second? I'm still not there with you yet.
For sure. I mean, and really what we need to do is step back to COVID for this to make sense for your audience and for the parents in the audience, and probably got to go back to COVID. Because what COVID showed us was the cracks in the system for public schooling went from just cracks to just like crevasses and canyons. And my kids were getting older. Some of my business partners' kids were getting older. And many of us had worked as consultants for corporations. And we had learned all these kind of specific fancy methods for collaboration, entrepreneurship, developing products, all that sort of stuff. And so what we realized was there was just this huge opportunity to use things like Zoom and other, digital media like this, so that we could take the professional certifications and programs that we'd been teaching and just make them available to way more people. And specifically, because of my background, we started working with high school and college age people, teaching them the very, very specific business practices that they were going to need to learn. But many of these business practices really are more about doing projects and learning things together. So L-EAF is the brainchild of several dozen educators who also were in technology and said, we have just got to find a better way to get more of our kids excited in school, more of our kids feeling like they belong at school, more of our kids feeling they can contribute something at school, even if they're not the best kid. And so what we started to do was work with teachers to learn these methods. And so teachers on several
let me jump in, just kind of
please
hover, as I like to say, for a second here. Some of the things you were just saying, all that COVID exposed all of this coming out. Wow, we have 78 people on. Hey, cool. Everybody, welcome. Please join our mission to get to 10,000 subscribers. So please subscribe and like the episode, assuming you like what you hear. I don't know. Simon's doing most of the talking today, so it might be a little sketchy.
It'll definitely be sketchy.
One thing you said just now when you were talking about the even if some kids aren't the best in grades and made me think, in this, and then you went on to say in this new teaching teachers about this new educational program. Well, I'd like to kind of not counter that, but add to that by saying, I bet you there's kids that were able to learn better through a different program. Not everybody learns the same way.
Correct.
And so not only are you what you're saying, but adding to that, there were probably a percentage that had the ability to now learn this new ability to learn because it made sense to them, right?
Bingo. That's exactly it. That's exactly right.
Yeah. It's awesome, man.
Yep.
Go on. I didn't want to interfere. I just wanted to add.
Sure, it's fine. And so, we developed this curriculum and the pedagogy so that any teacher could take whatever their subject was.
What's pedagogy?
Good. So in school, you have what you learn, the facts and stuff in books, and that's the curriculum. That's just like the factual content. The pedagogy is how you learn it. The
way in which you learn it. Okay, go on with that. Okay, so pedagogy is a term saying these are the facts, pedagogy is how you learn those facts.
Curriculum is the facts. Pedagogy is how you learn them. Exactly right.
And so what does that look like?
Sure. So most schools, pedagogy is make the children be as quiet, sedate, and sort of tame as possible. That's not usually the best way to get kids' curiosity flowing.
No.
So there's
Good way to put them to sleep.
Right. And there's people like Maria Montessori who showed 100 years ago there are better ways to do this. And her work is, there's still lots of Montessori schools. Essentially, we built LEAF, and your audience can go to leaf.org and they can see, if there's any educators, they can see all about it. Here's what we realized, and this is where the LEAF lab came in 2 years ago. So many teachers are so burnt out and tired. So many teachers have idiotic principals or others in their building that a lot of people are just like, we just can't make this work here. We love it, but we just can't do it because of the institutional barriers inside the building. And we're like, oh, okay, no problem. We're just going to let kids learn this, and we're going to open a lab. And we're going to open a lab by me and my business partners going to the businesses we know, getting low priority projects, and then bringing those students, training them in the professional certification.
Hover right there. This is one of those where you're an insider.
Yes, thank you.
Know this. So low priority. The name is obvious.
Yep.
But can you spend a second there? Sure. And I know you've got businesses coming in, putting within the lab low priority. Can you explain? Sure. Give some girth to that. 100%.
And I appreciate those questions because I'm just in it so much that it's helpful for me to actually slow down.
And there's 297 people here that aren't. So
okay.
So let's chat with them.
Good. Okay.
366 people.
Okay, good. So among your audience, among those 300 people, there's going to be lots of small business people like my parents. Yeah. They've got projects, things they wish they could get done. They're just not going to get them done. Doesn't matter how long. It's a small company, 5, 10, 15, 20 employees. There's just stuff that's never going to get done. We know a lot of those people. And so what we do is we say, hey, look, give us a low priority project. We'll come back to you in some months. Give us a couple $100 so we can just cover our costs. And then we'll take that work. Students will work on the work, and they'll send you back over time demos of demonstrated solutions to say, are these good enough for your company? Are these better? If not, we're going to go back and keep working on it so that the students have real business problems and they get to mess up without a boss yelling at them and them shutting down.
Yeah, and it's in that same scenario. Two things. In that same scenario, there are instructors that spend a few minutes with the children in a back and forth question answer thing, and then I say children, the teenagers,
students,
the students then spend the next, what is it, like up to 4 hours a week kind of
correct
thing?
So it's up to 5 hours a week. Yep, 2 to 5 hours a week.
And each day they're having that program done. The low priority is that this company, they have many business decisions, financial, everything, strategy, marketing, blah, blah, blah. But they also have these things that are just, they need to be taken care of, but they either take the time away from these critical things or they hand it into the LEAF lab where they aren't going to change the business, but they are going to make the business more effective and efficient because it's working on the right things.
Correct. So they learn business agility. Gotcha. And they learn lean manufacturing principles by actually working on the work, not us lecturing them for the 10 hours while they look at the work and then be like, get to it. It's more like digital shop class.
Yes. Oh, what a great way to put that. That's awesome. Hey, Ronaldo, you know who I've mentioned her a number of different times. She's
in the Front Range
fan of the show.
Yeah.
Yes. She's actually on the East Coast right now, but wants to get back out there. Yeah. Okay. Simon, thank you for joining in on this great adventure. Could you put the information on the LEAF program here? Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. So in other words, there's a private chat on the right side,
Uh-huh.
type in the information.
Okay.
Wow,
Good.
Ronaldo. And then I'll copy and paste it. I don't know why you can't. Somehow we got to just have, by the way, there's over 700 people on now.
Very
Very
nice.
nice. So good timing. Ronaldo, I know, and by the way, you know how much she's been doing. She's a
Yeah.
woman of great talent and in the shadows, in the background, always doing help and, you know, giving us ideas about different fundraising activities and some of those, you know, some of those things that we've done. Okay, I will go ahead. I know we're limited with you, so let me do some copying and pasting here.
We're good.
We've
got almost 15 minutes still.
Okay, so continue in on the certificate. So
Sure.
So we've got this digital footprint. First, before you go on, what does that give the student, and then continue on with what it is that the student is doing?
Yeah, and what we can do. So and I can get you this information. So when students come in, they spend 12 weeks in the lab learning stuff. Assuming they've applied themselves, assuming they've really done themselves proud with their efforts, they will learn 1 or 2 professional certifications, which are worth hundreds of dollars. The students get them for free because we get other people to buy them on behalf of the students. So professional certifications, yep, got to keep it low cost, and you got to get companies putting their money where their mouth is. So these certifications have a big, long, like 1-page, what's called an attestation, which is if you are the possessor of this digital skill badge, it means you know how to do these things. And I can send that to you. I can email it to you, or we can get that out to people so they can know exactly what it means. If they
I've got
go
a couple of things here. I've got a couple. Oh, wow.
Sure.
I copied it weird, but this is the website.
Yep.
And then the Leaf Lab. Boy, I really did a bad job at that. I'm going to do another one, but go ahead. Go ahead. I'm going to clean it up because I over posted, I think, here.
Yeah.
Are these two separate? Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, Simon.
So, you know, I think the easiest thing to do would be for me to just give, I can give you one more link to an article, and we can put that into the chat. That will take your audience members to our blog. From there, they can read themselves silly in terms of understanding everything about the methodology, the pedagogy, the curriculum, the who, that, and the other. So between these things, they can understand where are we coming from. We've talked about what are we trying to do, which is help people of any background get one of the jobs that exists on computers so they can have a good livelihood and not have to always be switching jobs if for some reason their life is such they have to move house from place to place. It just gives that stability that middle-class families need if they're going to think long-term, if they're going to set a couple dollars away for their kids' future education, if they're going to ever take a vacation, if they're going to do those things.
You know, the going back to specifically the students, the kids that earlier age, we've talked about on this show a bunch of times how people my age now are competing with kids going into the workforce. You know, there's a unique competition there for different. See, we'll get to you, Daniel, here in a second. There's a unique competition for jobs now, where McDonald's used to be learn how to work. You know, it's this of the 50s, right, or 40s. It's hire teenagers so they learn how to become able to work.
Yep.
This is now it's taking that pressure off of that, and now kids are able to get to the front of the line when they're looking at with a digital footprint, a digital badge saying, I have these skill sets.
Yes.
And it's proven here because of here's the work that was done.
Right.
And now they're in the front of the line, and now they're able to grow and work and become more capable earlier, which is finally catching up, because really the school systems are not caught up to this next generation's. Let's stay on the same thing here for a second. Daniel's got a question. How can schools start applying agile methods? like the one Simon mentioned.
Sure. So we have lots.
Do that.
Yeah. So we have lots and lots of stories on our blog. So on that last thing I put in the chat there, Rod, the third one.
Let me go back here. This one.
Yeah. So that's our blog area. There are dozens of articles about the whole shooting match, case studies, this, that, and the other thing. So for anyone in your audience who wants to get started, just hit us up at one of those two places. We'd love to hear from people.
Love how you're connecting education and real world purpose, Simon. This is the future. I mean, we're at 1,000 people now, Simon.
Yes, it is.
I don't know what's going on with the show. This is the future.
It is. And so here's, so the guy who started Wired magazine, I think his name was Kevin Kelly, was famous for saying the future is actually here. It's just not widely distributed yet.
Ooh. Ooh.
So Rod, you are a distributor. Your show, Rod, is a distributor of the future.
Thank you. I do believe that. Say that one more time. Say that statement again.
Rod, your show is a distributor of the future.
Okay. Well, I mean, this is the way the world is running. I mean, we talk about AI all the time. We're going to talk about it on Tuesday with Brandon. We're going to talk more about our plans on Monday.
Sure.
But by the way, folks, that's another good show to see on Monday at 10:30 my time, 11:30 your time, Simon.
11:30 East Coast.
Central and East Coast. We're gonna have a meeting as we do every Monday, and then we're gonna take the second half of that meeting on live with everybody else, so they can be. I think it's an exciting thought. I appreciate that coming together, and I think it's exciting because we're gonna our tribe, our peeps, this 1,096 people are gonna be able to say, hey, what do you think about this idea or that idea? Let's do it this way. Hey, I've seen in Denver, like Ronaldo said, I've seen in Denver where they have a similar type program, and here's how you can hook up with them, kind of thing. That's what we need, is this conversation all the time.
Yes. And the other thing to understand is that LEAF is open source. This is not about intellectual property hoarding. This is about taking the best known means of earning a digital business life and making it freely available, because we're just never going to get, nothing's going to build a middle class other than jobs. You could funnel billions of dollars into government to make and guess those jobs. I've tried that. It's very slow. This is a much faster way. 12 weeks, you leave with a professional certification. You leave with a digital portfolio you can bring to any hiring manager anywhere who uses a computer and be like, this is my stuff. This is what I can do. This is what I want to learn. This is how I'm good with the team. And they get to watch live recordings of the students demonstrating business solutions. We record them. We record them.
Whoa. Okay, I did not know that. So we have a couple quick, let's see, you're about 10 minutes?
10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Okay, we're fine. I got a couple questions I want to get to. I don't want to get panicked and rushed. But whoa. So in other words, they sign into the lab, which doesn't cost them anything. This is a service. It's open source, so other people can go in there and look, right? But you're saying they're recording them. So in other words, while they're logged in to the lab, the work that's being typed on is being captured digitally. So now the future employer can say, okay, what are your abilities? And Emma says, hey, look right here. And boom, there's the actual work I'm doing.
Yes. And I think our YouTube channel also has some of that stuff up as well. So if you just go to LEAF and LEAF Lab on YouTube, you'll see a bunch of our videos and stuff there as well.
Okay, so it's called LEAF on LEAF Lab.
Yeah, let me just.
I'm on the YouTube channel.
This is, this is not
okay,
my.
While you're looking that up, let me read what they're doing here.
Okay.
Clayton says, "Wow, the school to career bridge concept makes so much sense." And boy, do I agree with Clayton like crazy there. I mean, my God, as soon as Emma is like fired up on this thing.
Yeah.
She's so fired up. She decided to hang out at a friend's house last night. Brilliant discussion. That bridge, that school to career bridge concept. And, I remember Ronaldo mentioned earlier about if you don't have to make the money right away, you could volunteer at a place, then they already know you.
Bingo.
This is that next level. This is another level of that. I shouldn't say next level. Sorry, Ronaldo, I didn't mean that. Hold on, one more question.
Yep.
How does Leaf Lab support teens in building real world skills? You could take that after you do what you're doing, or now. You call it out.
Sure. So
like copy and pasting.
The question of how do we do that? We do that by bringing in live business problems, as I was saying, and so they learn real world skills by being.
Give a couple examples, just ones that you remember recently, or what? Just some examples. We got over 1,020 people.
Yeah. So an example would be we had a student from Penn State working with a student in Florida and South Carolina. There was an organization that really just needed to up-level their game financially. And they needed some financial forecast models, and they also needed some basic spreadsheets to help them run their business. These teams did that. There were some, and we can actually have on some of the women who I was mentioning to you, Rod, the Agile Mind, those women, they can show their stuff to your audience.
Would they be? Is Monday Monday? They're off Monday. They're teachers.
Well, except that
I don't know if that's too soon.
So they're administrators in an online high school.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, but Monday's Columbus Day.
It is. But yeah, so I mean, I'm sure we can make it so they can come on. This would be two teachers, kind of like I showed you those pictures the other day of those teachers.
Yeah.
Coming on and just talking about like, what is this thing? How does it work? Because it's weird. I mean, it's just most school doesn't start with trusting.
That's a smart idea. That I like that. See if you. Let's work on that over the next couple of weeks. Whatever.
No doubt. Oh, they would love this. They would love your show. They would be happy to do that.
Yeah. Tell them they got to subscribe though. That's
okay. Fair.
I got to get to 10. Hey, everybody, while we're there, subscribe and like the show. We're on a mission before next month to get to 10,000. We're less than 1,300 away. Nice. 10,000 subscribers. Come on, Let's go. All right. Here is your YouTube channel.
Yep. So you can see there are some conferences that we've done. There's a whole bunch of stuff like that. And can agility in education really prepare students for future careers? And yes, it can. And I would gladly introduce you, whoever that listener was,
That's Ali.
Okay. So I can just connect you to people who've been through our program, who have jobs, and you can meet them on LinkedIn.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. I'm really excited about taking our Monday meeting and bringing that on air, because we can really do a lot with this, directly connecting people. That's that group chat now.
Yeah, right. And so if you just think, so when I sign off in a minute, you can talk about what we did yesterday and how you got your executive team glow up, and we downloaded those apps. So now we can manage projects of real complexity almost effortlessly without having endless meetings. Get our to-dos, get our strategies, get our tactics, break it up into those columns. And then what the executive team learns is the same stuff we teach executive teams in companies, which is prioritize, delegate, make things clear, tell people where you want to go. Do not tell them how to get there. That will sap their will to live, and they will hate life.
Love it, man. Love it. Why don't you go take care of your biz?
Very good.
Give a big wave goodbye, and I'll slowly close her down here. We're still at about 1,000 people here, so
okay.
I'll do a little song and dance with them, and wiggle my booty.
Cool. The other thing you can do is you can talk about me behind my back. You can talk about like, what did we do yesterday? You can talk about those, because here's the thing. You have lots of smart people in your audience. If you can just up-level them with executive functioning stuff like you and your executive team are learning, that's a force multiplier, because it's not like it's a simple app. It's the simple mindset stuff. These are not magical things. It's just a different discipline for how to learn stuff.
I'll tell you, I love the way the world is going now. It's just becoming a better place to be.
Sure is.
If we're in the that's what you're talking about.
Yep.
If we're in front of the ball, in other words, the ball's rolling, if we're in front of it, meaning that AI wave, and how new ways to learn, new ways to earn. Our show on Tuesday talks a lot about that. This is a beautiful place to be. It's a utopia that's coming true, and we just got to put in that effort to be ready for it, be there for it, and take full advantage of it.
Amen.
Right?
Amen. I'll talk to you on Monday. Thanks again.
You got it, brother. Have a great weekend.
Take care.
See ya. All right. So I appreciate you folks sticking around. We're going to chat a little bit more about some different things. So what Simon was talking about is he's really been phenomenal. Let me take his suggestion and talk behind his back a little bit. He is a man that came onto the show, and I abused him horrifically, like I do at times with people. I had a little fun with him, and he's been very supportive, and he fell in love with you, our audience, our peeps here. All of us tribe. He really fell in love with what you got. I've been on this conversation lately about how much you guys create this show. The folks on here, the questions being asked, the people that are really becoming more and more part of the show, and doing the things that we ask in joining the conversation. We have a mission, and that mission is clear-eyed and crystal, and that mission is to empower and embolden the great middle class. Appreciate you guys coming on. We're 1,065 now, people in the audience. I love you guys coming up. Please subscribe. We're on a mission to get to 10,000 subscribers by next month. It gives us a couple weeks. We got a couple hundred yesterday. Not a couple hundred. We got over the last 2 days, we got 160, I think, new subscribers. We do that every day. Let's make that happen. We only need about 1,300 more to go, and so subscribe and do all the things that hosts like me ask you to do. But this mission is clear. It's crystal. It's changing and empowering the great middle class. And as soon as that show with Simon, which was only a couple weeks ago, I mean, this thing is blown up now. It was blowing up before. It's blowing up now in a bigger, bolder, brighter, beautiful way. That meeting, that is fate. I mean, because from day one, we really started. One, we connected under the most unusual circumstances, and two, our missions aligned perfectly. When I first started seeing some of the information regarding on Simon, and I was very interested because it looked very similar to what we're doing, and what we've been. Now he's much further developed along, and I always talk about the baton handoff, because I want to, from about kindergarten to 12, and he's going from really high school, maybe later high school, but college into the workforce. That bridge, that where is it at? Wow, school to career bridge concept makes sense. We're just building bridges that are longer now. You can go into college with a career, as well as leave college with a career already waiting for you, and you're moving ahead of the line as far as how you're exposed to how you go out looking for work in comparison to the people that are doing the same. What's the first step for schools waiting to create sprint-based learning. So if Lori, if you go on to this blog right here, this is the YouTube channel. You can see various examples of teachers teaching teachers, of work being done in these. In other words, they record the students doing the work. In other words, the computer is capturing the work, just like if you're giving a presentation, you're videoing that, and so an employer wants to see is impressed by your resume. Now, even before you have an interview with that person, you actually can have that digital footprint being seen directly by a potential employer. It's awesome concept. What's the step for schools waiting to create sprint-based learning? So you go to the L-EAF Lab program, and you sign in, and you have a 12-week course where you're learning the process, and that process, it's teachers teaching teachers. So it's this is a path, this is a direction, this is where we're changing the world today for tomorrow. It's dynamic. It's really a very special place in time that we're in, and I'm very excited about the opportunities that our younger generations are going to have. Let's hover on the word bridge for a second. So my son they're just a hair shy of 40, both of them. One 18 months more than a hair shy of 40. And I call them the bridge generation. They are the last generation that has ever lived or felt or touched or breathed what I grew up in. In other words, Thomas Brother, anybody who knows any of these terms, you're who I'm talking to. You're the last of that to know that. Every generation after that has never seen or dealt with the world in a way that doesn't have social media, that doesn't have mobile phones, that doesn't have AI, that doesn't have all these ways that the world is being lived today. It's a very exciting fact that that's the case. It's very exciting to me to be one of those people. There was a time where the last generation that never saw a car, the last generation that never saw a spaceship, or the Wright brothers and their first airplane. There was those generations that were the bridge generations that never saw whatever it is before. I'm now, and my sons are the last people that will have known a different world. And so that's a bridge generation. This is a bridge generation event coming because the world is going to change in how education is done. So much has changed. I just gave some examples: the car, the airplanes, the spaceships, so forth and so on. That technology has evolved and literally brought people, the human experience with them. Meaning the industrial revolution and this and so forth. Schools are so far behind. One, they're broken, but I don't think schools changed really fundamentally since the 50s or before. And then it's also got its weird little quirks, let's say. This is that absolutely inevitable and must be the change for the school system, for the educational system. It needs this to survive. And we need an educational system for us to survive as people. Because if the educational system doesn't catch up quickly, then we're going to have a little bit of problems. There's going to be a point in time where we're not learning. We're there. What do you mean a point? There's going to be a point. This is now the point in time where we are not learning enough. You know, this is the first generation now that will not live better than their parents since, I don't know, what is it? Since World War I or something in America. This is the first generation. This is also going to be the first generation that we don't get the school system dialed in and under control. We will not have a future. There's no way that we can keep up. And you know, you in a sense, a lot of the third world countries or the poorer countries are getting ahead of us. The generationally are getting ahead of us because they don't have the infrastructure we have. So they had to put up towers, and now everybody's living on phones, and now call centers, and their technology and ability to work, they're already doing things that we need to get really caught up on. And the only way we're going to do that is by getting caught up with our educational system, getting it further ahead. And that's what we preach. That's one of the biggest things we preach here on Insights and Straight Talk. I'm your host, Rod Duff, and I am.
Before you leave, if you'd like to watch another one of the podcasts, click the first link in the description. We love having you here, and we appreciate all your support.
And with that, producer Barbie and I are out.